What is going on, YT? It is your boy Diego, but as always, you can call me Chancho. And America is in a crisis. America is in an absolute crisis. It is threat level midnight right now. This is spreading faster than the bubonic plague, than the bird flu, than COVID, than swine flu, than cholera. This is spreading so fast, and it has taken over the entire nation. You know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm talking about the problem with tipping in America. Everywhere you go, whether it be Starbucks or a random store or Subway, they expect you to tip now, regardless of how much they are making, regardless of anything else. It is so awkward for everybody involved. Let me paint you a scenario. You're going to Starbucks, you're picking up your pumpkin spice latte, and you're getting ready to pay, and all of a sudden, the barista looks you in the corneas and he goes, "Hey, the machine's about to ask you a little question." You look at the machine and all of a sudden it says tip 15, 20, 25%. For what? For spinning the little machine? I'm not going to tip you. I physically went to the store to pick up my coffee. Why should I tip you? It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, before you start attacking me, let me relate to you for a little bit. I used to work in food service. I was a server for like almost 5 years. So I know what it feels like to work off of tips. I know what it feels like to, in this day and age, be getting paid $2 an hour. That is not a typo. That is $2 an hour as a server. I was there. I was making almost no money on my check, but making up for it on my tips. So tip your servers, guys. Servers deserve to be tipped at all times, under no circumstances. A server can straight up kick you in the shin, and you should still tip them like a little bit. Okay, maybe not that extreme, but you know, even if you think your server like didn't give you great service, you guys have, if you've never been a server, you have no idea what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we're the only face, though you as a customer, you show up, you get mad about the food, and then you take it out on the server. That's just how it goes. It stinks, but that's the way it is. So tip your servers, guys. This is not what I am complaining or ranting about today. I am talking about, you go to Subway and they've been putting sandwiches together since your grandpa was alive, and they've never asked for tips. Now, all of a sudden, the bubonic plague has spread, and the tip epidemic has spread all over the country, and Subway is expecting you to tip at the end when you're about to pay. It's like, no, why should I tip? You've been putting sandwiches together since your grandpa was in World War II. I'm not going to tip you just because you put my sandwich together. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then it gets worse because the tip amounts that they have on the machine, the default tip amounts that they have on there, are ridiculously high. Now, what do you guys consider a fair tip percentage? Drop that in the comments below. I usually tip about 18-20%. I think that's very generous already. A lot of these machines, when they're going to ask you to tip, number one, they don't deserve it. And number two, all they did was spin the iPad around. And number three, the default amounts, the percentages that they have on there are always ridiculously high on purpose to make it awkward for you, because they have it 25%, then they have like 30%, then they have 35%. I don't care if your server gave you a car. I don't care if your Starbucks barista massaged you as they were putting your pumpkin spice latte together. 35% is an extremely high percentage for tipping. Ridiculously high. And why is that the default amount that they put on the machine, on the little iPad or on the little machines that they bring to your table? Because they know that if you don't select those numbers, then you have to put other at the very bottom. It's very small, but you select other, and then you have to personally choose how much money to tip. And they're staring into your corneas the entire time that you're typing in the number, and they're like, how much are you tipping? How much are you tipping? How much are you tipping? It's just an uncomfortable situation for everybody. Now, don't even get me started on the fact that now they bring the little machines, the toast tab machines, the POS or whatever they call them now, to your table. What happened? Whatever happened to bringing the check and you discreetly leaving a tip amount there and then closing the little booklet and then leaving and going about your way and like smiling the rest of the day? Now they bring you the machine to your table when you're getting ready to check out, and they hold the machine for you as you put your card in, and the default amounts pop out, 25, 30, 35%. Other in the very bottom, and the entire time the worker is just holding the machine for you as you're typing in the number. And the way that Friends taught us, rest in peace Matthew Perry, tragic sad news, was to double the tax Double the tax, and that'll more or less give you a fair amount of how much you're supposed to be tipping. Because if you double the tax, that's about what? Almost 17%. So that's a more or less a quick and easy way to figure out in your brain how much to tip. I usually double the tax and then add like $1 or $2. We, as America, as the land of the free, the home of the dead. No, that's not right. The land of the free, home of the brave. We, as a society, need to stand together and fight these AI, toast tab, POS machines, corporations that are already taking all of your money as it is. And on top of that, they're just expecting you to give them more money. Why? Just because they think, and they're going to take advantage of people who think it's too awkward to say no. So what happens when you don't tip? These workers act like if you're personally going into their wallet, stealing their money, and then throwing it outside and then burning it in front of a bunch of puppies. They act like you're personally attacking them when, like, realistically, they're getting paid hourly, so it doesn't really matter. And they're acting like you're personally kicking them in the shin, putting their head in the toilet, and giving them a wet willy. This has nothing to do with them personally. This is just ridiculous that they would expect you to tip, and when you don't, they look you dead into your retinas, and they're like, how dare you not have tipped 35%? I literally went to the back, I put the ingredients together, 2 pumps of caramel macchiato, shook it together and gave it to you. And I spun the iPad around. The least you can do, you dirty, rotten consumer, is to give us 25% extra just because. And that's exactly how it goes down everywhere. And I'm sick of it. Ashley's sick of it. Anybody you talk to in this country will tell you the exact same thing. There is a problem in America that has been brewing for years, and we need to put a stop to it as a society. Because if we don't, within the next 3 to 4 years, that's the downfall of society. I don't think we can no longer work as a functional just community and world if we're being expected to tip gigantic corporations when they're already making a ton of money because we're paying them $9 for a cup of coffee. This is ridiculous. And Subway, whatever happened to you? You used to be able to just go to Subway, make your sandwich, and go about your business. Now they stare at you into your lens as you're supposed to tip them 15, 20, 30%. This is just ridiculous. It's gotten out of hand, and it's just something that I needed to rant about because I feel all of us can relate to this. What is going on in this country? What is going on in stores that you've never had to tip before? And all of a sudden, just because they have a fancy iPad and a POS system, they expect you to tip. No, this has got to stop. This is ridiculous. And this is something that I needed to rant about because I feel like it's been weighing me down. And if I didn't let it go, I was just going to like explode in my brain. And thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it all the way to the end, if you guys agree with me, which I know you do, go ahead and drop down below. What's the most ridiculous place that you've been expected to tip? Again, I cannot stress this enough. Tip your servers. This has nothing to do with them because they get paid $2 an hour here in the state of Texas. I know in California, they be living different because they get paid like $11 an hour. I remember hearing rumors of greener pastures in California getting paid $11 an hour. I know their cost of living is different, but I remember salivating at the idea that I was going to get paid $11 an hour haven't I moved to California. But that's besides the point. If you agree, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. I have more rants coming because I feel like I've been needing to rant for a while, and what better platform than do it than to do it on YouTube. And Sniper Wolf, if you're listening to this, which you're not, what is going on with you and what did you do to Jack's Films? And we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.